Right here, it's Todd Lebo talking a little golf. Watson Challenge coming up this week, and we've got James Ackerman, freshman at Nebraska, local kid, Hallbrook, right? So Hallbrook is where this tournament is this year. Let's talk some Watson Challenge first. This has been an exciting tournament that Tom Watson, who's one of the greatest golfers of all time, Kansas City, has been putting on for years. And you're like the kind of guy that he wanted to love golf because you were a little kid when this whole thing started. When did you first hear about the Watson Challenge? You're playing in it this week, but when did you first hear about it?
Yeah, I probably heard about it 7 or 8 years ago. Hallbrook actually was hosting it, and I went out there and watched, and they have a bunch of spectators, grandstands, and then they have little kids with caddy bibs who are walking around with names like Watson, King, Ackerman.
Yeah.
That's when I first heard of the Watson.
So it's just like, hey, listen, I really like golf. You obviously like golf. How old were you when you first started playing?
I was about 6 years old.
Right.
And then 10 years old is when I started kicking it up.
Really kicking it up.
Junior tournaments, national tournaments, and then that kind of led into high school golf, and then eventually.
Now you're on to Nebraska playing D1 golf. Before we get into that, let's talk about why you love it. I mean, when you were a kid, you probably were good at it. That helps. Like, I'm 55 and I'm not good at it, so I don't like to play it because if you're really bad at it, I don't want to go out there and frustrate myself. I am playing this weekend for the first time in a while, but when you're good at it, it's fun, right? So when did you realize you were pretty good?
Kind of at a young age, kind of right in that 8, 9-year-old area. I played every sport you could think of: baseball, basketball, swimming, tennis, golf. And it wasn't until about, like I said, 10 or 11 when I started to be like, man, I'm pretty good at this.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been a competitive guy, and it's obviously a lot more sweet when you can win. And something about golf that's different than other sports is it's individual. And I personally like that it's within your own.
Right,
like,
you have to beat the course,
yeah.
But at the same time, if you're playing against someone, you have to beat the other person.
Yep.
Would you rather beat the course or beat the other person?
I mean, the mentality that I think you have to have is like you beat the course because you can't really worry about the external factors.
Right.
Like when I'm on the golf course, fortunately, like my mentality is like next shot mentality. Like I step up to one tee, I'm aiming at the trees behind, hitting a little cut, hit the fairway, get up there, assess the wind, assess the undulations, and hit my shot. I'm not really worrying about like, all right, I need to make birdie here. And I need to beat, my competitors. But yeah,
it's. I know it can be very fun to do both of those things. You obviously beat a lot of people on the way because you don't get to go to Nebraska and play D1 golf if you haven't been good. Tell me what it's like at Nebraska, because Nebraska is a great athletic program. They love their football, and volleyball is monstrous, right? They love all that stuff. Golf is not a thing that people think about as much. You guys were close to making the NCAAs this year. Even just making the NCAAs in Nebraska might get a parade up there, right? Because So what was it like kind of being part of the program and trying to, get them up to that next level?
I mean, it was everything you could think of. Just the opportunity to play at Nebraska and under such a good program. We have a lot of academic help, athletic help. I mean, all the facilities you need to be successful. And kind of tasting how close we got definitely inspires me to work hard this summer and just every day in the gym and on the golf course. But yeah, I mean, we were really close to regionals this year. I'd say all the way up until our last tournament, Big Tens, we had that opportunity to catch a bid to regionals. And I don't think we've been to regionals in over a decade and a half or 2 decades. So a bunch of Nebraska people were rooting for us, and we just wanted to do our best to put our heads down and work as hard as we can, and fortunately this year we put up some good scores.
Came close, and maybe that's something to build on for next time. So you have some guys from overseas on your team. But what's college golf has turned into a lot of that, because it's happening in basketball as well. You see all these guys coming from Europe and different places. So now you're meeting guys from everywhere, right? And you've gotten to play golf lots of places. It is a world game. And it's really, no matter what language you speak or whatever, every continent they play it on. It's huge in Australia. It's huge everywhere. What is the most fun you've had, like meeting people from somewhere else or playing around, that you've enjoyed?
Probably just their personalities. Where you grow up, you kind of start to build personalities based on the people you like interact with. And so we've got a guy from Scotland who kind of says it how it is. And we've got a guy from Australia who's laid back, nonchalant, super chill, kind of like the beach vibe. And then we've got a guy from France who's just hilarious. And all three of them have these accents that all the team
Have you got an
loves.
Aussie accent down yet? A Scottish accent?
No.
Not yet?
They haven't taught me.
Have they? So they talk about soccer all the time. Australian rules football, cricket. I mean, what are their other sports?
A lot of football.
Yeah, football.
Yep. And they really dislike it when you say soccer.
So you say soccer
So I
just to
say
make them
soccer
mad.
to get under their skin. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's also fun to see how they go around the golf course. I don't know if they're feeding them something different in international waters, but all those guys hit the ball as hard as they can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, playing with players who are that good, you kind of start to pick up on the little things that they do well, and you can apply that to your game, and that's how you improve is, learning from your teammates.
Everyone like who plays college golf would love to be on the PGA Tour. And there's lots of ways to get there now. You're a freshman. So what do you, when you look around and you compete against these folks at the NCAAs, or you're going to play against some folks at the Watson Challenge and all this stuff, what do you need to do to get better to realize your goal of being a tour golfer?
I think for me personally, it's my driver. Gaining 10 to 15 yards. Weight room is probably gaining 10 to 15 pounds. Golf's a very physical game now. You look at the top 50 guys in the world, none of them really are the John Daly's anymore. They're all, I mean, Tiger Woods kind of started a new generation of
In
fitness
shape,
and,
yeah.
in shape. And it's a lot different having pitching wedge and 9-iron into the green than a 6 or 7-iron. And that's probably the next kind of aspect that I need to work on.
You think that's more strength or technique?
Probably a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like obviously like D1 golfers have fairly good technique, but I mean, you can always improve your technique, but mainly physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get bigger, stronger. That comes with getting older too. You're 19 years old. I mean, you look around out here and some young guys out there playing, but these next 4 or 5 years are when you can really get stronger and bigger as well. So what are your goals here for the Watson Challenge coming up this week?
Yeah, I'm just going to soak it in, embrace it. It's actually my home course, so I'll have a lot of hometown fans there. My family's watching. But a top 10 would be great. And I think the key for me, Hallbrook's kind of a tricky course, like off the tee. So I think anything around even or anything in red figures will probably contend with.
What's your favorite hole at Hallbrook?
Favorite hole, probably 6 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're short par threes, you can make hole-in-ones, and they're short, but you can make a big number on it.
What's your least favorite hole? What's the one you're like, I don't feel good on the tee?
Probably 16.
16?
Yeah, it's the 2 handicap, but there's been some debate that it should be the 1.
Right.
I think it should be the 1.
So you mentioned holes in 1. You got any holes in 1? How many you got? Don't tell me you have like 6 or something.
I got 4.
4?
Not nearly 6, but.
Are they all at Hallbrook, or where'd you get them?
Hole 6 and 15.
So they've all been there?
Yeah, I've got 2 on 6, 2 on 15.
So how old were you when you got your first one? You're like 8 or something? Don't tell me.
First one was, I used to know the date. It was like August 1st, 2019, so that's probably, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was 13.
13 years old, you got a hole in 1?
Yeah.
So now the tradition is you need to buy the beers for everyone afterward. You weren't drinking beers. You were 13 years old. You're not drinking beers now. You're 19. What do you do when you're 13? You get a hole in 1. You buy candy bars, Snickers at the turn, or what?
Yeah, I mean, you get your phone, or I didn't have a phone at the time. My buddy did. You run up to the green, you film it, get your picture, and then, go to the snack bar, get a granola bar.
You got to buy granola bars.
Reese's.
Yeah.
Yeah, no beers.
Yeah, no, not at all. So when was your last hole in 1?
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago?
I've been in
It's just so many, it's hard to remember. Yeah, you need a slump. You got to get some.
I know.
Maybe during the Watson Challenge.
You're right.
Get up there and feel comfortable on that tee. All right, so what are your goals for Nebraska golf this year?
I would like to make the lineup in every event. 5 guys travel, and we usually have 9 or 10 guys.
So what's that week like? I mean, is it just straight scores on practice, or does the coach have a feel?
Fall, it's mainly just based off qualifying scores, and then probably once we get within the season, like 3 tournaments, he'll start to have an idea of who like the top 3 are because they kind of stand out.
Maybe which course they would play
Which
well
course they
on
play
or whatever.
better. The setups and whatnot. So the top 3 guys usually stay in the same spot for the entire year, and then that 4-man kind of bounces in and out, and that 5-man is just open spot. Like this year, I think every single guy played a tournament, which is a testament to why we were so successful because it was just so competitive. But for next year, yeah, making the lineup for every tournament would be a great goal.
Where was the most fun or unique place you got to play this year with Nebraska?
I really enjoyed. There's this course up in Minnesota called Windsong, and it just reminded me of kind of like a U.S. Open setup, like Wisconsin setup, Erin Hills, that type deal. Just lush green grass, not many houses around, so it's kind of just a place to golf.
Right.
Phenomenal shape.
Very
That's
cool.
probably my favorite.
We got the U.S. Open coming up at Oakmont. They got a 300-yard par 3 on there. Pitching wedge, what do you got there? Full driver?
Yeah, that's a driver for me.
That is a ridiculous hole. That's crazy. Well, James Ackerman, thanks for coming in. Good luck at the Watson Challenge, and good luck to Nebraska golf this year, man.